Well, hello class. It's Wednesday, and right now I am looking forward to working with you with phase one of our lecture. And we're going to actually continue on a number of very interesting things this morning. And as you remember from Monday, we were talking about training fade out. And this goes back to how organizations can use experiential training in order to develop skills and instill new types of behaviors. Okay, so what I want to do at this point is I want to continue on that vein, and I want to talk about the importance of peer support, and you can follow right along with your book. Peer support um, is the employee peers support the applications of new skills and behaviors. They inquire about learning. And peer support means that we give a lot of feedback and we encourage our employees. Um, the thing here is, do these employees take that support or do they ignore it? If it means coming out of their comfort zone, do they willingly come out of that comfort zone to look at the support, or do they really try to get back on track? And I think that um, a lot of times when employees refuse peer support, it's because they're so afraid that they're going to change, have to change, and they're going to fail at that change when trying new things. So we really have to be on top of it to know that our employees are the strongest vein that we have in implementing change. If we don't get them to see the vision, if we don't get them to see why it's important to change, then they won't. And peer support really says, okay, this isn't coming from your boss. We're supporting each other. Some get things quicker than other people do. Um, so what I recommend is that when you're talking about leading change, what leaders have to do is they have to delegate to those that really understand the need for the change among the team and get them to support each other and realize that the new skills and behaviors they're learning are really not to intimidate, but to help them actually do better at their jobs and what they do. The third thing is work conditions. Does the employee have the opportunity to use these new skills and behaviors when they come back on the job? Um, Once they learn these new things, they got adequate feedback. Are they willing to take the training wheels off the bike? Are they willing to try new things on their own? And behaviors overtly or covertly discouraged by time pressures, inadequate resources, and or unchanged possibilities. These are some of the things that go through the heads of those that need to change. Okay, say for example, you're learning new computer skills and you have a certain deadline. Some employees don't feel that, oh my gosh, I'm not up to this. I can't really do this in this time period. I need more time. What if I fail? What if I lose my job? So, also, a lot of things that they might complain about is, excuse me, they don't have the adequate resources in order to implement the change. And it's important for the leader to know and to understand that resources are things that must be in place because there's enough pressure on the employee to make the change, and the time pressures and the constraints that are on the employees to get through the change discourage them to go forward. So here again, what we need is we need the resources, we need the time that it's going to take to implement the change, and we need a lot of support from the leaders working through the peers that understand the change, and then the peers work with those that are struggling a little bit more, maybe put them in teams. But that's the way to make it happen. Not, as we learned in the past, not all employees understand the same things at the same levels at all times. It takes time to be able to say, okay, this is what we need to do to change, and we go in and we implement that change. And we do that by more supporting each other. One thing you want to make sure is that as a leader, and this is really kind of important, you don't separate yourselves from your team. Make yourself a part of the team and let all the employees know that you are in all of this together to make that change. Because as a leader, if you are more judgmental than you are supportive, especially when change needs to take place, this is when you fall into certain problems. So I want you to take a minute now and just kind of reflect on what I just talked about. Okay, this ends phase one of today's lecture.